I feel like I've been getting more and more questions from residents lately. It seems like everyone's getting an electric vehicle.
Right? It feels like just yesterday it was a niche thing, but now tenants are genuinely asking, can I charge my car where I live? It's a huge shift.
And honestly, I'm a bit overwhelmed. I know it's probably important for staying competitive, but the cost? Just thinking about installing charging stations sounds incredibly expensive. How much does it actually cost to install EV chargers at an apartment building?
That's the question everyone asks. And you're right, the perceived cost is a major barrier. But according to Pando's latest blog, it might be more affordable than you think, especially if you pick the right technology.
More affordable? Really? But isn't the demand still kind of low?
Not anymore. Pando highlights that 52% of renters under 45 are actually considering an EV, and charging is now listed as one of the top 3 amenities requested in new apartment searches. If we don't offer it, we risk falling behind.
Wow, that puts things in perspective. So let's talk numbers. For a typical setup, like those pedestal chargers you see, what are we looking at per charger?
For traditional systems, the total cost per port is usually in the range of $4,000 to $6,000, starting with the hardware itself, which is about $1,200 to $2,500. Then, often you need electrical panel upgrades, adding another $1,000 to $3,000. There's usually significant trenching or conduit work, which can easily be $1,000 or more. Labor and permits are typically $500 to $1,000, and don't forget the ongoing software and maintenance fees, averaging $250 to $500 per year.
That sounds like a lot, especially if you need to install multiple chargers. Why is it so expensive with the traditional systems?
Most of these legacy systems weren't really designed with apartment buildings in mind. They often require dedicated power for each unit and can involve expensive trenching or rewiring. Plus, those annual maintenance fees can add up, making it hard to scale financially.
Okay, that makes sense. It sounds complicated and costly. So, is there truly a better way like you mentioned?
Yes, I'm glad you asked because I found that the Pando Smart Outlet was specifically created for apartments. It can dramatically cut installation costs, potentially by 70% compared to the traditional methods.
70%? How is that possible?
It's pretty clever. The hardware itself is much more affordable at just $599 per port, but the biggest savings come from how it integrates. It often requires no electrical panel upgrades in most cases and significantly reduces or eliminates trenching and conduit work. Labor and permits are about the same as traditional charging at $500 to $1,000, but the software cost is lower at $200 per year.
So, what does that bring the total cost down to per charger with Pando?
It's approximately $1,500 per port. That's a massive difference compared to the $4,000 to $6,000 range for traditional systems.
How did they get these savings?
It's through smart tech designed for multifamily use. They use shared circuits with adaptive load management. The hardware is compact and easy to mount, and the installation avoids disruptive work like breaking concrete. The savings really scale whether you're putting in a few or many.
Okay, that makes the upfront cost seem much more manageable. But beyond the cost, what are the actual benefits for our property?
This isn't just an expense, it's an asset. Installing chargers can increase our property value and appeal, boost tenant retention and satisfaction, and we can even generate new monthly revenue from charging fees. It also positions our property as future-ready for the next generation of renters.
So it's an investment that pays off. That makes a lot more sense.
Exactly. The upfront part is there, but the ROI is significant. And solutions like this Pando system aim to give us those benefits without the usual headaches and prohibitive costs. You can even request a custom quote and site assessment with no obligation to get an idea of what it would cost for our specific property.
That's a good idea. I should look into that.